this here. Top chat to all chats. Okay. Set that there. And then I need TikTok chats. Move that there. I could probably extend that a bit more. Okay. Hello, if anyone is here. I'm probably going to wait a bit for people to join. I'm going to make a post. Add everyone. Get ready with me stream. BLG. Self-advertisement. Copy. Stream. Is interested. Paste. And then copy and link. I'm interested. And then copy these. Wrong button. Select. Copy. Paste. Okay. Oh, Snapchat, duh. Perfect. Oh, hi, Nikita. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I think you're actually the first one to come on today out of all the stuff I have. Oh my God, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm still getting things figured out. I just finished sending off some of my self-promo stuff. I'm still figuring out this whole streaming thing. That is way louder than I thought it should be. If you're a makeup person, I don't know if you've ever heard of Kaleidos. With some of their highlighter stuff. It's called Moon Cruiser. It's one of my favorites, along with Solar Sailor. Disregard the sound of death in the background. It is a warning for a tornado, even though we have no natives today. But this stuff is so... it's hard to see. It looks white. How do I put this? Aggressively blue. Very blue. Harshly blue. I love it. It's aggressive. I want to be like a disco ball. I want people to look and be like, oh, ouch, that hurts. So it's my favorite. Most of my stuff is very shiny. But I think I'm going to do a gold into red look today. That's what I've been doing, but I think I'm going to use a darker red. I'm still figuring out makeup myself. I'm just kind of going with the flow. But it's okay. I really do appreciate you being here, though. It was a great stream this morning as well. I can't wait till we get back to Breath of the Wild as well. That is so fun. I'm actually replaying. You flinch bed? No, I have to be very careful when I do my eyes, especially because I have my contacts in. So if something gets in my eyes, I could end up ruining my contacts, and that would piss me off because these things are not cheap. On the plus side, most of my makeup is pretty cheap. And thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I wish I had like the OBS stuff set up like you do, so it could be like a McDonald's cat. That'd be so fun. But like I said, I'm so stupid. No, I'm not. We don't talk about ourselves like that. Not the smartest at the moment because I need to put up my phone so I can take a look at myself and actually do my makeup. Let's see. Okay. I can teach you if you want. That would be great. I will be 100% with you. This is, I think, maybe my third week streaming. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still figuring out like any self promotion, any anything like that. Oh no, I cut myself because I don't want to be like too famous, or really famous at all. I don't really expect people to show up. I mean, I have a small-ish following on Snapchat, but that's really it. Um, Morning Star, thanks for being here. Um, so I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. Like I said, plus most of my stuff is relatively cheap. It's like mostly like ColourPop. They tried this Ulta tried to sell me on some really expensive what is it foundation Estee Lauder, and that shit was like $50 a bottle, and it was not my skin tone. I was like aggressively orange, and I'm like, I'm not trying to look dumpy or Trumpy, so like let's not go into exactly. I'm just doing what I feel. I'm doing a get ready with me stream. I might, and actually, this is kind of inspiration from you earlier, to do some. I might do some Roblox later. Since I have it on my Mac, I don't have like a full gaming setup, but the M4 Mac is pretty powerful as is. So I was thinking of doing that or some Nights into Dreams. I've been playing that on the Sega Saturn VR, not VR, virtual machine. Too many reasons don't do makeup sensory issues, and exactly. It is. It's a lot as well. It's a lot of work. And surprisingly, for somebody who does not know anything about color theory, it's a lot of blending colors. It's legitimately like painting, which is hilarious because I suck at painting, but I can paint my face pretty well. I need to switch that over to Photo Moon and turn that up so I can see myself. My headphones on. The only downside about today is that it is hot as balls outside. Like very, very hot. I don't remember pictures. Pictures are trying to visualize. Yeah. God, stop turning my brightness down, phone. A lot of the times when I do a makeup look, I don't really actually have a plan in mind. I just kind of let what happens. Yeah, it's I think with the heat index is going to be 105 today, which honestly is not as bad as it was yesterday. It was a 111 with the index. And it was hella hot. Kansas, actually. For some reason, us here in the Midwest, we have been getting our ass beat with the weather. But we here in Kansas, we like to say we don't have we have Mother Nature's redheaded stepchild as our weather person. They're very bipolar. Very bipolar. I remember one time in 2015, is either 15 or 14, we had a day where part of the town, part of the state, a fourth was on fire, a fourth was drowning, a fourth was in a tornado, and a fourth had impending doom because everything was coming at them, which is where I was. So it is, I don't know, it's hard to explain Kansas weather. I mean, everyone's just like, oh my God, we get all of our seasons in one day, but we get ours within the hour because, like, it's going to be hot, but yet it's also going to be incredibly rainy within, like, the next couple of days. And it's going to be hot rain, which almost, like, defeats the purpose. Yeah, Kansas weather can be kind of, how do I put it? Batshit, to say the least. Um, Total side note, by the way, makeup wise, if you ever want good but cheap makeup, TJ Maxx. On brand, Morphe. This is an aggressive blush. I have to be very careful with it. But $4. And this stuff is usually more expensive. But I don't know, Kansas weather can be kind of crazy. Yeah, exactly. Um, a lot of my stuff is relatively cheap. Like my foundation and my concealer are all Color Pop, which I think I just had to get more concealer the other day, and that was like $8. Not happy about the price, but it's better than other concealers, which are usually like 20. Um, Same with foundation. My foundation is relatively cheap. I think it's 16. But again, the first foundation they sold me on when I was getting into makeup and color matched me wrong was Estee Lauder, and I think I still have it somewhere over in my makeup area on the, not on the wall, but on my stand. And that shit, it's too expensive, and it's also just very very wet. Um, Certain foundations have a grip to them. Certain foundations are a bit wet. Certain foundations are a bit drier. It really depends on your skin type, on what works with you. Um, no, honestly, you can end up spending way too much money. Like this, if I get this open, this little thing, just these 6 colors, was I think $25. Um, and this, which is 9 colors, was 8. It really varies on wherever you go or whoever you go through. It's insane. And it's like a great example is this liquid eyeshadow by Ariana Rim. Fembot, it's so beautiful, but one bottle is like, I think 25 or $30. And the applicator doesn't go all the way in. So I have to use a brush to really dig in there. In which, speaking of Ariana, I really hope she gets better. I hope she gets the help she needs and not Karen Carpenter's on us. For some places, for some 100 stuff. No, exactly. And a lot of my favorite stuff is really really cheap shit. But that's because, well, I can't even say I'm a cheap person because I have expensive taste. But it's like my mom says, I have expensive taste with a ramen noodle budget with no sauce. So just the noodles. And unfortunately, she's not wrong. She's very, very correct. Um, I think like the only thing in my mix here that I paid full price for is the Solar Sailors, not Solar Sailor, but the stuff from Kaleidos, because they don't really run discounts because they're not sold in store. They're their own company, but their stuff is so, at least for me personally, because I like to be shiny, their stuff is so good. It's like, I don't know how to describe it if you don't like shiny shit. Gotta get no. Actually, that's where I got these from. I got a 2 deal on the Solar Sailor and the Moon Cruiser on TikTok, and I think it was like 30 something, which is not too far off the beaten path of its actual price in store, which is not terrible. But when you don't really have much money, it becomes a bit of a problem. But it's meant to be high. It's supposed to be highlighter, but I use it as my actual like eyeshadow and shit just because of how aggressive it is. When you get your followers, they will trade you. See, I'd be okay with that, but I'm not looking to like. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not looking to speed run anything, but also I don't have many expectations, and I'm okay with that. I like keeping my expectations low, not in a sense of, oh, if I keep everything low, I won't be surprised when something bad happens, but just in a sense of, I'm okay with whatever happens. Um, let's get a bit of red in here. Another good thing, like palette wise, Stormy Skies, Ulta Beauty. It's their own brand. I think this was like $15. A palette of this size would usually cost you a good amount of money. Now, Raindrop Romance is one I want to use, but I don't know if it's red or if it's like brown. Actually, I also have this one over here. Do I have a gold in here? Oh, I do. Oh, if you ever want like a makeup thingy to go very far for you, Fenty Beauty lipstick. That shit, I have to dab it very lightly with a brush, and then use it as lipstick because it is so incredibly strong. It's good. Streaming is very up and down. No, honestly though, it's that's what I've noticed. Streaming can be very. I don't know the right words for it, but it can just be everywhere. Like I've had streams like where I've had like right now 2 viewers, and that's great. I've had, I think the last time I did a Get Ready With Me, oh fuck me, that's purple. I think last time I did a Get Ready With Me, I had no viewers, and then the one before that I had like 15. But again, it's like, it's whatever. If people want to be here, that's great. I'd be okay with that. But if people don't, then that's okay. Nope, that one is permanently stained with red. I don't want to fuck with that one. I really need to get a brush cleaner, honestly. Not exactly. It's like I'll have I know on Twitch specifically, I have a couple of people that like stay for the whole thing, but they don't say anything. And it's like I'm not mad anyways, but at the same time, it's like I would at least like for you to say something. Like just like a hello to make sure like you're alive or something. But I mean if somebody's here, that's at least the nice part. Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just one person. Because I think I did a coloring stream yesterday, which is just like sometimes I do. Yeah, lots of people are shy. Sometimes I like to do gaming streams, but I don't have like not Diablo, Elgato. So I just point my camera at my Switch. And I've been doing like Splatoon Raiders and stuff, and it's fun. But it's also just like what is it? Not the greatest quality. Which is why I was thinking of doing Roblox later on because I can just screen record on that and then have my face in it. But again, cross that bridge when I get there. It's just nice to have people here. I really need to clean off this brush real quick because this is aggressively red. What color is that? You know, we will figure that out later. Ooh, highlights. So, Miss Nikita, what are your plans for your day? Oh, and hello, Mo. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, I don't think that was the right color for that option. Shit. Hey, oh my, hey, oh. That's okay. I can fix that. I'm about getting some iced coffee. Ooh. I haven't had iced coffee in such a long time, but also my body can't really handle caffeine. But that's okay because I love a good decaf tea. Let's see, what color are you? Are you brown? Or that's it just makes me more confused. What color is that? It looks brown and red and it came off gray. Streaming is me on the meantime this moment. Oh, I see. Unfortunately I work from home, but it's been very iffy lately. What color are you? Told us I know, sorry. This right here, it looks like a brownish red, and I'm putting it on and it's coming out like gray. I don't really have much anything going on. I had a job and /have. I don't really know what to call it. But it's not, I don't know. There's like, oh, you need to apply for another opening. And I did, got the invitation, did all that stuff, and haven't been accepted. So I sent them a message today. I'm like, what are we doing? But figure things out as we go. Pick up, drop house, cleaning, cooking, laundry. Oh my God, I know, right? Yeah, no, I get it. It's like I don't do any of that stuff, but I do since I live with my family and I'm pretty much not really actively fully employed at the moment. I try to do what I can, so I usually do all the cooking and cleaning. At least try to make, I don't want to say make my existence worth it, but be helpful because I'm literally just sitting here trying to figure out streaming and trying to figure out work from home because unfortunately I have chronic health issues and I just got diagnosed recently with POTS and IST, and it is making work incredibly difficult. The last job I was at, I had to be wheeled out in an ambulance, and that is strictly because we had some sort of breakfast and it triggered my IST, and I did not know. And so I was sitting there, my heart rate was bouncing. It was going like 60, 70, 40, 120, 150, 140, 120, 60, 20. And it was just everywhere. Um, so it makes things difficult. I drink salt water all the time now to really help, and it's weird, but it does the job very well. But that's also because my doctor was like, you need up to 3,000 milligrams of salt extra per day. Insane. Oh my God. It is. It is. It's terrifying. Oh, I used to work at a hotel as well. I worked in the hotel industry for like 2.5 years. I actually got little total side tangent. I got fired from a hotel because we had a blizzard here, terribly bad. And the hotel I worked at was off of a highway with nothing around us. There was no like homeless shelters or no stores for somebody to go into if they were homeless. And I was actually had to stay there for a couple days because the weather was so bad I couldn't leave. The floors were iced over. People were stuck at the hotel. And when this guy came in, we were completely sold out, and he was just like, I have nowhere to go, and I don't want to die out there because we were in. It was like negative 10 outside, and I was like, I don't have any rooms. I don't know what I can do. And I asked my manager, I was like, can I let this guy sleep in our just for one night to let the ice go over in our meeting room? Of course, the answer is no because it breaks hotel policy, which I understand. But at the same time, it's hotel policy versus someone's life. And I went behind their back and I let him stay in the room. I gave him a pillow and a blanket, and he did not die. And I'm very okay with that because there was a report of two people that were under the bridge that was near the hotel who froze over and died. So I'm glad I was able to save his life. But a couple months later, the owner called me and asked me about it as one of the laundry people was talking about it. And he was like, so did you let someone stay? I was like, yeah, because they were going to die. And he was just like, yeah, I don't care. You're fired. If you come on property, we're calling the cops. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Ooh, banquets. I never did any of that stuff. I was just front desk. But I did set up all the stuff for the banquet people. I'd be like, hey, you got all this coming in. Here's your reservations and all that shit. Or making the forms for them and all that stuff. It was fun. I kind of I don't mind the hotel industry. I'll be honest, I kind of miss it, but at the same time, it was so incredibly stressful. The hotels that I worked at, it was just not fun. Oh, I thought I was told on several occasions I could be a server because I'm like very people forward, but it's hilarious because I'm not a people person. Like if you're gonna be a Karen at me, I'm gonna throw right back at your face. That's kind of a problem. Um, but I don't know. I in a sense I miss the hotel industry, but at the same time I kind of don't, just because of how hectic. At least the hotel I worked at was. We were severely understaffed almost all the time, and everybody had some sort of secret vendetta against each other. Um, it was real problematic. Where did the hotel benefit? My husband works for an airline. Hey, that's what's up. See, that's one of the things I do miss about working at the hotel is that when I still worked there, I took a trip to Colorado and I was able to get 2 hotel rooms for a few days. And I think it was like a total of maybe $500. And those rooms are usually like a couple thousand. So I'm like, lock it in. But it's okay because my friend works at a hotel and I'm able to get her $40 rooms. Lucky. I think the cheapest I've seen, the ones that for where I worked, were a little under 100. But that's because I worked at like an IHG. And now I also never want to see another IHG again. But that's just personal preference because, working there. Okay, let's add some blue in this bitch. Well, what brush do I want to use for this? I'll just use this. I'll just clean this one off. The benefit for forever. I pretty much hotel I wanted to work for. Yeah, I feel you there. Unfortunately, the hotels nearby, they're either fully staffed or they are, they're paying incredibly cheap. Unless you, no, I mean, honestly, I think you can make it big as a streamer. You be one of those people that get like multi-million. You could be like the next Markiplier. They'll come out with the Nikita movie. I think that'd be fun. Let's see. Let me grab this. I don't know, but the hotels nearby, some of like the minimum wage here in Kansas is still like $7.25. So some hotels are just like, we'll pay you $8 and call it a day. I'm like, in this economy, no thanks. That's gonna get me absolutely nowhere. Granted, the last one I worked at paid me $15, but even then, with how the economy is going, it wasn't enough. I need a smaller brush. Oh, also, total side note: if you need cheap makeup stuff, buy below, especially their brushes. And their beauty blenders, because a lot of the times, even at like Ulta, even the Ulta brand, some beauty blenders and shit like that are just expensive. Like, why do I need to spend borderline $20 on something I'm just gonna smack my face with? Okay, that's how it's coming out of the camera. And then I need a little arc under my brow. Mine's up and down depends on gratuity. Yeah. This is like tiny crack. If you can't tell, I like shiny shit. I like to be shiny. Like, look at that. It's like a disco ball in your finger. And right under the brow. And then I'm going to buff it out so I don't look crazy. There's also some of the makeup stuff I have is also donated by my friend Mika. But that's because she's like a professional makeup person. Well, not like professional, but you would think. Okay, shiny enough. And then buff. I've also been, I don't want to say aggressively, but I've also been working on my brows to get them thinner. I don't want to be like early 2000s crackhead thin, but my brows used to be incredibly bushy, and I did nothing about it until pretty recently. And now that I have them fixed, I'm like, oh, that looks a lot better. I need to change my playlist because I don't want to credit that song. There we go. Happy music. I don't know. I've thought about going back to the hotel industry, but it's so. I don't know. The last two hotels I worked at, because I worked in hotels for like, I think 23 to 25, late 25 or 20. Yeah, late 25 or 20. No, 26. It was just so many bad things. And the hotels I worked at, the first one I did, I'm not going to name names, but we did have 2 people die. And that was 2 bodies that I had come upon. Me and my friend, who we're both still friends. It's almost like trauma bonded because we both did walk in on 2 dead bodies. And it's just like, yeah, it is. Hold on. And the story behind these bodies are really sad. The first one was a drug overdose. This lady let her friend die, and then came back after the fact to get her jacket that she left there, and then told the front desk, "Hey, I think my friend's dead in there." And we're like, "What? It's whatever. You're joking." She was not joking. We went to go check on her because it's been, hey, you need to check out, and your friend says you're dead. Let's make sure you're not dead. She had decomposed into the floor. But it's also because she had a 3-day stay, so it's like we didn't really check on her because housekeeping was upon request due to short staff. And so we didn't immediately go and just be like, hey, it's like housekeeping time. We just went and talked. We just went to open up the doors, no response, and there she was, half melted into the floor. Called the coroners, called the cops. And then the people was like, let's keep this on hush. Let's not tell the media. Where it's like, what? And then our jobs were threatened, so we really didn't say anything. Let the coroners take care of that. And then a bit later, there's this lovely guy, super, super nice. He was a little depressed, which I get, me too. And unfortunately, he ended up drinking himself to death. He would take pills and drink heavily. And one morning we went to go check on him to be like, hey, it's your time to check out. Do you maybe want to extend? It's been a couple of days. We see you here on the regular. Do you want to, extend your room? And we tried to go, wake him up and move him. Rigor mortis is already set in. So we called the cops, called the coroner, and we had emergency contact for him on file just because of how frequently he stayed and because, we were worried. His wife showed up, and first thing she says is, did he get the divorce papers? Do you guys know? And we're like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, well, I'm divorcing him. Did he sign the papers or not? And I'm just like, I don't know. We haven't really seen him until now, and he's dead. And she's like, okay, but divorce papers. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, okay, well, that's all I need. I'm like, do you want to maybe grab his stuff or anything, like memorabilia? She's like, no, I don't really care. And then left. I'm like, oh my God, how heartless can you be? Terrible lady. And those 2 rooms got renovated. I know, right? The first room where she decomposed into the floor, they just ripped out the floor and put this really cheap ass flooring in it. And you can obviously, it's not even the same type of carpet. It looks so jank. It looks like they cut out the floor because they had to cut out her body. And just move on with it. I was like, oh my God, you guys are fucked up. And then the last one wasn't so depressing. It was in the middle of my shift. Whenever you're at the front desk and someone calls 911 on the hotel phone, it rings us downstairs to let us know, like, hey, room 103 is calling emergency services. So we go check on them. And so we get that call and we go, we're like, hey, is everything okay? Police are on their way and everything. Is there anything we can help you with? And turns out they had all taken a family trip, got up there with grandma, and once everyone was in the room and grandma got comfortable, she passed. They said she was getting pretty old at that point, so I think she just waited till everyone was around her, and then she was able to pass nicely, which just makes me think, at least she was there with her family. But then at the same time, in the most non-messed up way possible, we just got those beds replaced. All of those beds at the time we just renovated were brand new. And so it's just like, oh, so all of these brand new beds are, not all of them, but some of them are just, it was just so sad. Now it's a memory attached to someone's house. Yeah, exactly. It may not be tied to the house, but sure as shit is tied to that room now. I don't know. There's so much stuff that can go on in hotels that you don't really think about. It is crazy. Time for this part's the hardest part in my opinion, the liquid eyeliner. Because I really suck at it. But I suck at eyeliner in general. I'm trying, but it is just very difficult. And it's hard as shit to get it even too. I don't do the rooms or anything, just bring food and clean up. That's really how it was with our breakfast team. If they even actually ever showed up. Most of the time they didn't. But I'd be like, oh my god, here's this crazy shit going on. There's like, well, not my problem. I'm just here for breakfast. I'm like, well, I don't really blame you. But it's also the hotel I worked at, the last one, severely cut corners on everything. So none of the stuff we used was actually like standard. Like we were supposed to buy stuff from like Cisco, and we just have shit from Walmart. Which inherently isn't bad because some of the stuff from Cisco was gross, but we got our ass reamed by health inspectors and when the corporate came to do checks. Like, weren't you guys using the proper stuff? It's like, ask the people that buy that stuff. Gotta focus. I love the way. God damn it. Yeah, no, the owner is actually ass. And if I'm right, he owns other hotels in the neighboring states, and he's in actually legal trouble right now. And the story behind that one's actually kind of gross. One of the hotels that he was running, like all hotel cleaning supplies usually goes through Ecolab or just like a standard, like cleaning supplies unit or whatever, professional chemicals and shit. And well, unfortunately, one of the hotels he was running, he actually did the same thing to our hotel, and I got him in big trouble for it. He tried to stop purchasing. God damn, that looks bad. He tried to stop purchasing laundry detergent for our bedding, and luckily, the Ecolab guy, our supplier, I had him on call on speed dial just in case. And I was like, "Hey, do you know when our next shipment of detergent's coming in?" He's like, we were never told you guys are out. And I was like, yeah, they're having us wash it without detergent, like wash the sheets without any cleaning solution. And he immediately came and shut us down. And the owner they didn't want to use anything, nothing, just the water. Just the water was enough. The owner got real mad about that. Even as the Ecolab guy, he's just like, how'd you know? And we're like, don't say anything. Well, it turns out one of the other hotels that he ran, there we go. One of the other hotels that he ran, cutting corners like the ruining repetition. No, seriously. One of the other hotels he ran was a water park hotel, like a Great Wolf Lodge in a sense. And what he did there was he stopped buying chemicals for the pool. So like chlorine, proper stuff to keep it clean and safe for people. For 2.5 years, I think it's either 2 or 2.5 years, they ran without any cleaning chemicals. Oh, whoa, that's a lot of blush. Oops. And it got oh my god, that's shit. Oops. And it basically got out about that because they got so I don't know if someone got sick in particular because the person that runs that hotel used to be my manager, but turns out she's a sack of shit. In the most respectful and disrespectful way possible. Anyways, I don't know exactly how it got found out, but they got shut down by the health inspectors. Yeah, no, exactly. It got shut down by health inspectors because there's like, this ain't clean. Where's your chemicals? And there's like, oh, it's on order, but they hadn't done any of the pool maintenance or logs or anything like that, and they got caught. And here's the part that makes me laugh and almost is disgusting too. Actually, not even almost. It is the person who used to be my manager. She runs that hotel, and on the news, on live television, what she did was she was just like, "Oh, the pool water is so clean, we don't need chemicals. You could even drink from it." And she takes a cup, a hotel branded cup, logo facing the screen, so it's all out for the world on who and where this is. Takes a cup of water from the pool and drinks it, saying how clean it is. Ugh. Fucking disgusting. When I saw that, I was like, ain't no way. That part. It's like you're drinking from a communal bath. It was so like I showed that to our ego lab guy because we go to the same gym. And I was like, dude, you'll never get this, because apparently she specifically fired him from our location after they fired me because they found out it was me who was tipping him off. So there's like, we're not going to work with your company anymore. We'll go elsewhere. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I told him, I was like, I showed him, I was like, look at this. And he was like, no way, it's real. I was like, yeah, it is. It's so disgusting. Exactly. And the fact that is 2 or 2.5 years of unclean water, no filtrations. And well, there's a filtration system built into pools, obviously, but you need more than just a standard filtration system. And that's all they used, was just that standard filtration system. No chlorine, no nothing. And if I'm right, because of that, he is now in legal trouble. I know he's done a bunch of other sketchy shit with his other locations, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than just that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the thing that tipped the scales over into you done fucked up territory. Layering my lipstick because this has a good silky base, and then this bitch gotta be incredibly careful on. Miss Rihanna. Look at how red that is. I just take a little bit of dab, not even from inside the tube. Yeah, there's a lot of times when I know, right? I wish I could. I've thought about it, but that costs a lot of money, and that's just not something I have right now. That, and honestly, I'm kind of just over it at this point. I like to move on with my life and watch in the distance as they suffer, because I love to read their reviews and just see how terrible everything is. Glitter. Yeah, it's just like there's so much I could say about that hotel. It's like, even during the blizzard when we were locked in, like I stayed there for like a week. Even during that time frame, I had this one guy who was incontinent, to say it nicely. He's an older guy. I feel kind of bad for him. But at the same time, if you know you're incontinent and you have issues controlling your bowels, which no judgment, it happens with age. Um, he did not want to wear diapers, which I mean I get it, I wouldn't either. But at the same time, this man, while we were trapped in a hotel, could not leave because the door was broken, it was busted open. Um, Ended up shitting from the front desk up to the second floor, up to his room. And when we went to clean his room after he left eventually, we had to charge a massive cleaning fee because there was shit everywhere. Like I'm talking, once you entered, it was on the door, on the floor, on the wall, on the ceiling, all over the shower. And I'm just like, man, really? It's like I remember vividly sitting there at the desk, figuring out my metrics and not recording, but putting in some information. And then somebody coming up to me and be like, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's shit on the floor. There's a shit trail. I'm like, a what? And there's like, yeah, there's a shit trail. I'm like, huh? A what? And lo and behold, follow the shit. It's like the follow the yellow brick road. The shitty follow the brown brick road. It's like I totally feel for him. Because it's just like it has to be embarrassing. And it totally sucks. I completely understand. But then at the same time, it's just like if you know you have problems, please wear a diaper or something. And then when we charged him, because we when he was leaving, I was like, hey, I have to have a tough conversation with you, but we are gonna have to charge you a massive cleaning fee because we have to really deep clean these floors, and that room is out of service for a while. And at first he's like, okay, I understand. And then when we charged him, he called back. He was all mad. He was like, I don't understand why I was charged all this stuff. And I tried very nicely to explain without, being just like, hey, you shit everywhere. It takes a lot of money and a lot of product to clean that up. And I tried so nicely. I was like, incontinence, I understand, but we unfortunately still have to charge for stuff like that. Just due to the cleaning fees of everything. And he just was not understanding it no matter what. And I was just like, eventually I had to cut the niceties, to say the least. And I was like, eventually I was like, sir, in the most brutal way to put this, to make you understand, you had pooped everywhere. Incontinence means you cannot control your bowels. You had pooped everywhere. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my ring light. I was like, you had pooped everywhere. And unfortunately, we had to clean all of that up. It was a disturbance for the guest and for us. And at this point, you have to pay the cleaning fee. And well, apparently he was also placed up there by his church. And so they called. They're like, why are you charging us all this and that? We are rated for this. I know we had to stay extra. And I was just like, I'm sorry, but your person's incontinent. He pooped everywhere. And he's like, what? And I was like, unfortunately, your person decided to, well, not decided, but went to the bathroom everywhere, and it was a trail. We had to clean all that up. It was bad. And also the room is destroyed. We should be charging more, but we're cutting him some slack because, stuff like this happens. Because our full scale would have been $1,200, but we only charged him $6, even though we really should have charged more because that room was out of service for like a month and some change. Like, I feel bad for him. I really do. But it's just like, if you know you have an issue, please do something about it. Like, maybe wear a diaper. It sucks, but it's just like, I guess where's my hairbrush? I guess do what you got to do. I don't know, the part of me misses the hotel industry because of just how chaotic it was and fun, because there were so many moments that were just insane. But then it's just like, oh my God, there's just so much shit going on. Thank you, Evie. I appreciate it. But it's just like hotel wise, it's I don't know. I wouldn't mind going back in the industry, but like I said, the pay right now is mid and it's not good. It's a problem, and the economy is trash. So it's just like figuring things out as we go. I think before I end my stream, I'm gonna paint my nails. I think I'm gonna do this shiny blue. And I might layer it on top with some purple. I haven't got that far yet, but I'm figuring things out as we go. But as of right now, this is our makeup look. I seem extroverted on stream, but I'm quite in person. No, honestly. No, honestly though, for real, it's just like I try to be. I mean, on stream, I feel like you have to almost be extroverted in a sense, because you have to put yourself out there. Because this is not something. I mean, it's like I like doing my makeup, but on stream, it's different. It's weird. But in person, I'm definitely an ambivert. I like I'll say with confidence, I'm not much of a people person. I don't really like going out with or doing anything. I mean, like I like hanging out with my friends, the two of them, and that's okay. I like to keep my friend circle very small. But I don't know. I'm very much just a homebody, to say the least. And I don't really want to say it's sad. I mean, it's just like it's just life is like that way. No, honestly. Like I think doing like a treadmill stream like that would be really cool. Unfortunately, that is not something my heart can handle at the moment. Because some of the issues with POTS and IST, I pretend everyone's my BFF because it makes me the hotel or on the stream. I mean, hey, whatever works to make you happy. I saw this thing on TikTok recently, and it was how to deal with like because I also have OCD paranoia tendencies, unfortunately. So like also with health anxiety, but that's just because chronic illness really does that to you. And I saw this thing, and it's basically just like when those intrusive thoughts come in, like mine are just like, hey, you took your heart medication, everything should be fine, but your heart's slowing down, which is the job of the medication. My brain's just like, okay, cool, so you're gonna die now. And there's like whenever you get that kind of voice in your head, give it a name of somebody that like you can't stand. So one girl was just like, she's like, I just have it be a man because I can't hear no bullshit from a man and actually believe it. And I was like, that's hilarious. But another one is mine has been, if you've ever seen the show called The Good Place, there's this character called Derek in it. And so whenever something like that happens, as of late, I've just been like, shut up, Derek. Don't make me reset you. And it's been working. Shiny. But yeah, I have POTS and IST. I was recently diagnosed with my cardiologist and all that jazz. I had to do a table tilt test where they strap you down to a table. They lay you down, get you comfortable, and then lift you up kind of like a catapult and just see what your body does. And if it doesn't do what they think it's supposed, like if your body doesn't react, then cool, you're fine. But they still need to test you out, and they'll give you this medication that will make your blood pressure drop a little bit. And unfortunately, there's like if something does not happen, then cool, your body's fine. Your body's just weird. If something does happen, you got issues. And my heart rate and blood pressure went complete opposite directions. They dissected from each other, and I looked at the doctors like, I think I'm dying. Whatever you're doing, stop. And I threw up everywhere and almost passed out. It was not fun. I get flutters in my brain like you're gonna no, honestly though, it's bad. I get very bad brain zaps, not as often as I used to, but it's just because of the type of SSRIs I'm on. But it's like basically there's like they did the test. There's like, well, you failed the test. I was like, is that a good thing? There's like technically no. You have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So basically, if I get too fast, I get up too fast. I run the risk of like passing out or blacking out or my heart rate gets too high. And then inappropriate sinus tachycardia, which means the sinus node in your heart that controls the electrical pulses that tells your heart, hey, beat this fast or beat this slow, does not work properly. And so it overreacts to the smallest of things. So like my body has adrenaline dumps as well because I'm stuck in fight or flight a lot just due to trauma and shit. And so it's basically just like that's what the medicine that I'm on helps lower my heart rate and blocks my heart from reacting to the adrenaline dumps. Um, which is great, but then the panic and fear is still there. Um, it's not fun, but I'm dealing with it. I'm on medicine to help retain salt in my body because apparently after some lab tests we found out I have super kidneys and they are processing at 2 times the speed that they're supposed to, which I mean should be good, but then at the same time that means stuff is not sitting in my body long enough to be absorbed, which is just a pain in the ass. I've been feeling lightheaded and dizzy lately. It's making me anxious and which oh no, I know, right? It is. It is not fun. It's like our couch is also broken, right? Well, not really broken, but it's definitely old and needs some needs some help. And that thing, it's so hard to get off of. And then once I finally spring myself out of it, I'm like, oh, I got up too fast. I see stars. Or like, or it's like I sleep with my Apple Watch on just to keep a track of my heart rate and everything. And I knew today was gonna be a bit off just because I woke up and my body was like, hey, we're sleeping, everything's cool. 110. And I'm like, oh, okay. If you want one, I'll trade because these super fast kidneys are great. But let me tell you, drinking a 32-ounce cup of salt water every single day. It's called LMNT. It's the stuff that I put into it. It's 1,000 milligrams of salt, 200 milligrams of magnesium, and 60 of potassium. I drink that over a 24-hour period every single day. And that's just 1,000 milligrams. I have to get the rest through food. But I have to be careful. I can tell when my body's actually had too much salt because my rosacea acts up and then my ears get really, really red, which was last night. So I had to be very careful with that. I have a problem with that too. But if I'm moving, I'm fine. If I'm sitting, I'm fine. I wonder if you might have a form of I'm not sure how to say it right, dysautonomia or something like that. Is basically the same umbrella term that POTS falls under. Is basically the autonomic nervous system that your body has that controls your breathing, your heart rates, the way that your muscles move, the ways that your muscles constrict to prevent blood pooling. Um, what happens is dysautonomia. I'm not really sure how to properly say it, but it's a disease that affects that, which is what POTS and IST fall under because those are autonomous. You don't think about breathing, you don't think about your heart pumping and beating, but it affects those parts of your body. Oh my god, my hair's in the wind. I'm trying not to get my nails on it. But it's unfortunately a disease that has no cure. Beta blockers, which I'm on, are very helpful. Honestly, they're pretty good. They do a great job. My resting heart rate used to be about 150. Now it's down to anywhere between 70 and 100, which is still a pretty big range, but it's not as bad as it was. Change it between not fine. No, yeah, that's actually part of POTS. That's the postural part of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Is if you get up too fast, you see stars. If you move wrong, you see stars, or you almost feel like you're going to pass out. My doctor recommended if you have an issue where you are like say you're laying down and you get up too fast and suddenly like you feel like you're going to pass out, you're like woozy and stuff. He said when you're laying in bed, kick your legs like you're riding a bike and then sit up. It gets the blood moving from your legs to your heart. And then it should help with that woozy syndrome. More than yeah. I used to have incredibly bad palpitations. No, honestly, really sensitive to dehydration though, maybe salt imbalance. It might be. Um, you could just need more salt in your system. It's a very good chance. It's the doctor said it's very rare for a cardiologist to say that you need more salt in your system. But when you do, you do. Basically, adding salt into your system increases your blood volume, which really helps with blood pooling. So, an issue with pods, I have to wear like what is that stuff called? Compression gear, like compression socks, because the blood pools in your legs, and when the blood gets stuck in your legs, because your autonomic nervous system is not not convulsing, but not squeezing your leg muscles to push the blood back up. Your heart has to work even harder to get the blood back up to your heart and circulate properly, causing palpitations and a faster heart rate and what feels like skipping. I personally deal with really bad palpitations and heart skips. Now, with the increase in salt and increase in blood pressure, my doctor said my blood pressure has to be 140 over 90 instead of the standard 120 over 80, because I need more blood volume and pressure to keep my body, the blood coming back to my heart properly. Um, Ever since that fix, it's been kind of nice. I haven't been dealing with the palpitations as bad. I knew I was gonna have a flare up this morning when I woke up, just due to waking up with a higher heart rate than usual. I knew that was gonna be a problem, and it was. That's why even in stream I was like, I'll be back. I'm having an IST flare, but I just had to sit there and breathe through the palpitations because it's like I feel it in my legs, I feel it in my feet, I feel it in my head, I feel it in my eyes, I feel it everywhere. My heart, like even right now, if I have my legs against my desk, I can feel the desk pulsing with my heartbeat. It is terrible. It is terrifying. I hate it. When I have too much salt, it feels like my stomach bloats and I physically feel it. Mine feels like a valve gets stuck open and freaks out for like 5 seconds. My head feels like I held my breath. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be like jump the gun and get checked for it, but it doesn't hurt to be checked for autonomic nervous system issues. You can develop it at any time in your life. Mine's unfortunately genetic. I found out a lot of these issues I have are my dad's, and I'm just like, oh, this is your fault. Thanks. It it can be scary, but at least from what I've seen on stream with your heart rate monitor, your heart's doing fine. And that's one of the things with same here. I am what is it called? Immunocompromised. So I got to be careful with that stuff. Um but oh my god, what was I going to say? Um oh my god, my brain's totally not working. Um, it is quite scary though. I'm not gonna go to the doctor until I pass out. No, honestly, um, I haven't passed out yet. Luckily, I've got very close. I have vasovagal near synope, which is basically my blood pressure goes whoo, and my body goes uh-oh, and I almost pass out, but I don't. That's the near synope part. That's also from the testing that they did. But oh, that's what I was saying. When you have dysautonomia, I really suck at saying it. But when you have it, um what happens is your heart is fine. Your heart is healthy and it's functioning properly, but the autonomic stuff, the shit in the background, is not functioning properly. That's one of the biggest things that I deal with, is like mine in tiers of fuck that shit too. Lightly fuck that shit is IST pods, VVS. IST is my biggest one, and that's just because I'm on heart medication for the rest of my life. In the morning and at night, and then as needed. I literally always I have to have the bottle near me just in case. Just in case I have a flare up. And because I had a really bad flare up in April, I was sitting here eating at my desk, getting ready to work, and my heart it just went up and up and up. It was like 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, and I ended up in an ambulance because they was like, we don't know what's going on and your blood pressure's out of fucking control. Still don't really know what the cause of that was, so heart medication got increased. But with having the POTS test and everything, the salt increase, it really has helped. But also the doctor's saying, unless the doctor tells you to increase your salt, don't increase it too much because it can be very deadly. It's such a weird push and pull, because when my doctor's like 3,000 milligrams of salt, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's so much salt. That's insane. But you do what you got to do, I guess. It's hard to live with, unfortunately, because it's like my body can't handle high altitudes. Like I took a trip to Colorado, and I was there before in 24 before all this stuff really kicked into gear, and I was okay. Well, when I went this time, I was like, I was really having trouble breathing. I was really struggling. And I was like, I'm having really bad palpitations. My heart's skipping a lot. I feel like I'm going to pass out all the time. Something doesn't feel right. But I still pushed through. And every night, my watch would tell me, hey, your blood oxygen is low. Your blood oxygen is low. And I'm like, oh, it's whatever. I'll be fine. My blood oxygen was in the 70s. I didn't realize that was terrible until I got back home. And I was like, I was out of whack for a few days, and I looked into it. I was like, I googled it. I was like, hey, if your blood oxygen is in the 70s, is that good? And Google stopped me and was just like, if your blood oxygen is currently in the 70s, go to the hospital. You are in a medical emergency. I'm like, oh. And I looked at my blood oxygen throughout when I got to Colorado towards the end, and it was just 90, 92. It was when I was like 98, 92, 80, and it just dipped really hard. And I was like, oh, oops. And Google wouldn't even let me continue. There's like, if you're experiencing now, call the cops, call the cops. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm alive. I recovered luckily, but still it's just life, I guess. I don't know. I've gone to the doctor a lot just to get this stuff figured out. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of work, but it's been worth it. Just the only downside is, I take 10 pills in the morning, 2 at night. And I have to really just space things out to get my body going, but whatever I'm doing as of now is working, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, it's after I had my first baby, my actually tell me heart would go around and yeah, I don't blame you. That is terrifying. Well, but also here's the thing: if you're an athlete, though, if you're an athlete or somebody who works out a lot, your resting heart rate is low. It can be in like the 40s, and you'll be safe. Which the doctor, no, honestly though, I've gone through 3 cardiologists because there's like, oh, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong, and I'm just like, sure about that? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it might have. I don't really know what to say. That might have just been a blood pressure issue due to giving birth on your something on your body. Um, but that is insane. I mean, like I said, luckily from what I've seen, because I have been through the ringer and a half with my doctor and testing. At least from what I've seen in stream, your heart looks great. Those weeks after, Jesus. Why am I vibrating? Hello. Jesus. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. That is insane though. I guess your body just had to have been like recovering or something. I think I'm gonna just say that. See, I think we talked about that earlier. 3 cups of water. Come on. I drink a 32-ounce cup. I know you've seen it with the McDonald's cat, and then I try to drink 3 or 4 of these Pizza Cat cups a day. With Primo water. I don't want to drink. Well, you sound like an alcoholic in recovery. I don't want to drink. Drink it. You got to drink water. I don't know. I used to be the same way. I really did. I used to be like, I would drink a Route 44 Pink Flamingo every day, and it was so good. But then I became diabetic, and I was like almost 300 pounds. Yikes. And so I cut back on soda. And then now I'm to the point to where even like the mini cans of Dr. Pepper, they're like this big. I have half of that, and I'm like, I'm good. I just want water. I feel old. I'm just like, oh, I'm 26 going on 100 because I don't want water. I don't want soda. I just want water, and I don't want anything sweet after 6 o'clock or I'll be up all night. It's unfortunately true, but it's whatever works on my body. Yeah, I think my peak was 298. I know eventually I hit the 300s, but I hit the 298 and I was like, oh my God. Oh shit. Yeah, exactly. Fast food is terrible. It's like I had like I said, I was having Sonic every single day before work. Perfume, by the way. at Sonic every single day before work because it was right next to the hotel, or Starbucks because it was in the parking lot of the hotel. Nowadays, I don't really eat fast food. Yikes! Mine was 5'7" at 298. Starbucks is still hard. It used to be. I used to get a bunch of drinks from there, but I don't really anymore. But that's also because this hard stuff has really halted me in the tracks of doing anything like caffeine wise or anything. Like I drink decaffeinated tea, and some decaf tea is really really good. I'll be honest. There's a sweet and low blueberry cinnamon tea. You can get it like Kroger or Dillon's, and it is so good. Organ matcha, so good, so good. Um, it's really hard to quit it though, but my A1C was 13.9. And my doctor was because I remember I had a physical and it ended up lasting 2 hours because I just kept talking about stuff. And I was like, oh, she's like, anything else? I was like, oh, I guess last thing. I'm always peeing at night and I'm always so thirsty. And it's just like, keep the stream open. Oh, right. It was basically just like, what is it called? My doctor's like, we need to check if you're diabetic. We'll do a quick little test. It was like 30 minutes I had to wait for the machine to read my blood, and she's like 13.9. She's like, I don't know how you have not had a stroke yet. And I was like, oh, and she's just like, yeah, you're an A1C that high, you are past stroke territory. The scale ends at 9. You being in the 13 is incredibly deadly. You need help. And I instantly got put on GLP-1s because I hate that people abuse that medication so much because it's diabetic medication and now the price is insane. Without insurance, it's like $2,300. But I'm on that and metformin, and metformin broke my stomach so bad. I was incontinent for like a month and a half. It was bad. It was so bad. Granted, everything's fine now. It basically, when you're on metformin, it nukes your gut biome and then gives you a new one. It kills all that bacteria, but it's just like, holy shit. It was so insane. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm happy now. I mean, I can eat some things that I wasn't able to before. I can handle dairy better than I was able to before. But still, it's just like, I'm still incredibly lactose tolerant. Don't get me wrong. A pizza will kill me. But still, it's just like, it's insane. But within a year, I was able to drop my A1C down from 13.9 to 5.4. And my doctor was pretty much just like, you beat diabetes. Congratulations. Still be on the medication, but do what you're doing. Keep it up. Which is great. But then it's like it was so much fucking work. I'm just glad to be healthier now. I'm not where I want to be, but that's also because when I was in the 170s, I ripped my Achilles tendon. And unfortunately, even nowadays, after physical therapy and all that shit, I still can't feel the back of my foot. And it gives out on me often enough to where it's difficult. And then the heart issues just make things really difficult to do anything. But I'm still trying. And that's the part that I'm okay with, is that I'm really trying. And I'm really for once, I'm putting myself first. And it's been very nice. Being nice to myself, talking nice to myself, really catching myself in that slip of, oh, I'm not worth it, being able to catch myself and just stop that. It's great. It's been nice, but it's also been a lot of fucking work. Well, this is my look for the day for the people that aren't here, if there's anyone here at the moment. I do think I'm going to go ahead and actually get off stream for the day. I have a couple extra things I need to do. I might be back on stream tonight to do some gaming, like Roblox or something, probably roughly 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll put it in the chats if anybody wants to join. But I am going to go ahead and get off for the day. Thank you, Nikita, for being here. I really, really appreciate it. It's been great talking. If you stop by tonight, that's great. If not, it's okay. I understand. Your family time. I'm going to go ahead and end these streams. I hope you have a great rest of your day, Nikita. I can't believe it's back to school time already as well. It is insane. Let's get this off of here. All right. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are. Alrighty, that ends my TikTok stream. And that ends my YouTube stream.